Good morning, everybody. Sergio here. I hope you are having a great day. Today, I wanted to talk to you about something that I've been hearing day in and day out since the beginning of March. I've been hearing it from just regular people out there. I've been hearing it in the office from real estate agents. And there is talk that the market is starting to cool. Now, is that true? So I'm just going to give you my opinion on this matter. So, in my eyes, this market is still very much a strong seller's market. It is not cooling, at least in my eyes, by any stretch of the imagination. Now, why are people saying that the market is starting to cool? So to me, there's probably three main reasons. So the first reason, the Bank of Canada they increased the interest rates by a quarter point, back about a month ago. And people saw this as kind of the start of maybe the market cooling. Now we have to remember, if you're a buyer out there, chances are you're already pre-approved, you're locked in your rate, and also you are being qualified at a much higher rate. So that quarter point really is not going to affect the vast majority of buyers out there. I think it would take many interest rate hikes in order for it to really affect buyers out there. So that's number one. Number two, we're starting to see as the onset of March started, more inventory started coming on the market. And I'm going to explain to you why that happened, at least in my eyes, okay? And then number three, realtors are complaining, quote unquote, that they're setting up these homes for offer dates, bidding wars, and it's not working. So the offer date comes, they're not getting any offers. So, and I'm going to kind of give you my opinion on that in a moment as well. But I think it's important that we really kind of go back to understand what's been going on in the market for us to get a big picture, okay, if that makes sense. So if we go back over a year ago, January 2021, it took on average 31 days for a home to sell. And the average sale price, believe it or not, was $967,000. Come February of that year, okay, a year ago, the average home price rose to $1,045,000, and it took 18 days for the average home to sell. Okay, so we saw a little spike there. It's like we started getting to a real hot seller's market. Over the course of the year 2021, we have seen the average days on the market stay at 18, and the average sale price slowly increased every single month. So this is what we saw. So in February, the average sale price was $1,045,000. In December, it was $1,157,000. Okay, so it took a whole year for prices to go up $100,000. Okay, so now picture this. Come January 2022, February 2022, the average home price in February rose to $1,335,000. So prices increased $200,000 in 2 months. It took a whole year for prices to go up $100,000. Okay, so what we see, or what we've seen actually, is in January and February, I'm going to call it a big blip in the market. So we kind of like steadily increased in 2021. 2022 came and things just kind of shot up. And here is what happened, is that the vast majority of people began to think that this was the norm. This blip was the norm. Unfortunately, it was not the norm. It just so happened that at that time, the conditions were such that inventory levels were really, really low. There was a lot of buyers out there. And in my eyes, a lot of buyers, they probably paid too much for the property that they purchased. Okay, now I say that because, real estate is an awesome investment. It'll always go up. But if we take a look at some of the sale prices, especially in February, some of them were real head turners, okay? So what did that do to the market? What we saw in March is all of a sudden we saw an influx of inventory. People saw, oh my God, prices are really going crazy. And a lot of sellers that entered the market, they in fact are not real sellers. Okay, so they're speculators, they're gamblers. I mean, they're saying if people will give me these outrageous prices, if they continue to go up on this steep slope, I'm going to sell. And what happened is that they were set up for these bidding wars and nobody bid because we kind of already reached the peak of that little blip. Okay, if that kind of makes sense. And now we have agents out there saying bidding wars, they're not working. Well, I've said this for months now. I truly believe that in this kind of market, this whole bidding war, offer dates concept is the wrong thing to do for your client. It's I hate to say this, and I'm going to probably get some slack. It's a real lazy approach for some agents to try to sell their clients' homes at this kind of peak time where there's a lot of demand. But it's not the right thing to do, okay? So not number one. So what I think we've seen is really a little bit of a blip in the market. Now March, things have just kind of leveled off to where they were pre-2022, okay? That steady growth, if you will. And I think if you take a look at the March numbers, we're going to see that we're going to see a return to that steadier growth, but in no terms whatsoever is this going to be a buyer's market. We are so far off from a buyer's market, it's absolutely ridiculous. Selling prices are still extremely strong, but we're not going to see this outrageous slope that we saw in February. It's just, it's not serviceable, if that makes any sense. So hopefully this makes sense. If you have any questions at all, reach out to me, 647-300-3800. You have yourself an amazing day. We will talk to you soon. Take care.